Hi, this is Margaret from Margaret's Crafts. I wanted to show you some flowers that I've been playing around with. I got the new, well, I've had it for a little while, but haven't really had a chance to really play with it that much. The new Shoppe Cartridge by Cricut Projects. And I wanted to show you a few of the flowers that I've been playing around with. The flowers are exactly the same, but they're made in two different colors. And this one is a two-tone one. And they're the exact same flowers, and they're made with this very last one right here. No, this very last one right here that has the little rectangles on it, and the flower that goes with it right here. And what I did was I made it in graduated sizes on down 1/4 of an inch. On this one, all I took was my ink dauber that was the just a shade darker than the flowers itself. On this one, I took a little bit of the brown ink and just tried to get just mainly the tips until I got towards the center. This is another flower that I made. It's a rose petal. And the one that I used was the heart one, the circle that was with the hearts. And I made it and rolled it up. I didn't use any other ones. And then I didn't use any other ones. This one is like those little mini ones that you can make. And I made with the very first one with the loops and just rolled it up. But I made this one much smaller. I didn't use the whole roll. I took some of the roll off. Now, let me show you how I made this one, but I'm going to make it in a different, how I made this one, but I'm going to make it in a different color. I'm going to make it in pink this time. Okay, I have my gypsy all set up because I was making this flower, so I saved it as a cut file. And I have all of my layers that are going to be in the graduated sizes on this side. Then I have my leaves, and I have my center, and then one more little graduated one, which sometimes I have. That's the one that kind of matches this swirly one. So sometimes, that, like I said, that center one was a different color, so I put it over with that one. Then I just set my mat up to match my different cuts. And all I'm going to do is feed this in through my Cricut and let it cut. And I'll show you when I'm all done. Okay, here are my pieces all cut out. And I do something a little different. Well, not different. A lot of people probably do it too. But let's get started. Okay, I take each of my pieces. Doesn't matter what size I have at the time. And I like to, I guess this is embossing them. It's just giving them texture, dimension. And I do this with all my petals. Then after I'm done with that, it makes like creases in there, and I like to get in there with my ink and kind of tip the tips of it to give it just a little added color. On this one, I didn't do that. I just used my glimmer mist, and I just glimmer misted the whole thing. And I'm going to do this with all of my petals. Now for the center petal. And remember, there's no specific size. You just make it to fit the the way you want it to look. If you want real big flowers, like to put on a gift package, you'll need a bigger size. If you want smaller flowers to decorate a card or something, you make the smaller sizes. Now, what I do with this part right here, I always thought I started in the middle and that made the little curve. No, you start on the outside. And you can tip this too before you curve it. Okay. Now that I'm done with that, I went and bought a, what is this called? Is it Quilling? To make the little flowers that has the little slot up in the inside. Quilling. I went and bought a quilling tool. Just put it right there at the end, and then you start to roll. I like to roll towards me. And you just roll tight at the beginning to get that little center tight. Then what I do is I have some quick drying glue. And I just, as I go on, sometimes my first one comes out in a little blob. Just stretch it out. As I go, every so often, to make it hold its shape, I'll add a little bit more glue. So I'll just keep going on. As you can see, I'm holding underneath with this finger, turning with this hand, and rolling on top of my finger. I roll down and I move up to keep its shape. Then I just add a little bit more glue after so far. And usually that's all I'll put on there, if you can see that. Then I'll roll. Keep rolling on my finger. I use my thumb here to kind of put it shit down and keep it in line so it doesn't get out of shape. Then I'll add a little bit more. And this seems to hold my flowers really nice. Now, like I said, if I was going to make one of these little tiny flowers, I wouldn't have started at the end. I'd start, take some of it off. And I would make my circle, my actual cut, a little bit smaller. You just keep rolling. After you've done so far, you can take it off of that and then just roll it between your fingers like this. But remember, I still do the glue so it doesn't unravel in the middle. If you have too much on there, wipe it off. Then I just roll. And then when I get towards the end here, then I'll do my little gluing again. And then I'll glue this whole bottom. I'll put a whole plop on, because that's the bottom of your flower. You just keep rolling. And then that bottom part goes across there and you hold it down like that. And let that sit for a minute. You use a quick drying glue so that it'll dry fast. And you can play with it. While I'm holding it, I can spread out the edges of it a little bit how I want it to be. But I'm still holding that bottom. And plus with the glue that I did as I was rolling, it also helps, it gives it shape. And that's how it looks. Now I'm going to show you, after I inked up all the other pieces, how it looks when I'm all done. As I was saying before, I added all of these flowers by staggering them all. I like the center hole because it makes it line up and I don't have my flowers cockeyed off to one side. And I put one, and then the way that I put the other one is in between the space, is that's where that leaf will go. And I'll do every one just like that one. Then I take my last one, and I like to curl that one up a little bit more. You just go around and around in a circle with it. And you put that one in also. Right there in the center. But you want that one. For me, I like it to stand up more. Doesn't matter if this one is staggered or not. Then you take that bottom of the ones that you made before, press it out. And you're going to add glue to the bottom of this one. I kind of like rub it around a little bit to get it to stay in there. I don't push on the ground on the bottom because remember we have all those holes in there. Then I'll just push these ones down. In the center there. Then I'll just lift these ones up. They got kind of smushed. And that's your flower. And if you want to, you can take some of the outer leaves and you can use anything that you have and kind of bend them back outwards, or, you know, a flower doesn't grow exactly in the right direction all the time, to make it lay flat. But I like to straighten these ones out a little bit and bring them down on the side so that you don't see that that part in the center that puffed up. Now after I've made my leaves, I'll take a little bit of the quick drying glue again, just right on the bottom. And I'll place my leaves right where I want them to be. Then I'll just hold them there for a second. Then it seems like I always want to curl my leaves a little bit. And that's how I made these flowers. Thank you for watching my video. On upcoming videos, I'll show how I made this one with the heart one and how I made the little tiny one. Thank you for watching my video. Bye.